it take to get over you? I'm gonna need me a wraith to get over you. Why don't I clean up my life? I'ma need me a wraith. So dirty. Rollie or two, yeah, rollie or two.
What's up, woos? We made it back. It's your girl Sheena here, Tendin to Your Business podcast, and we are wrapping up this season. We have done a lot this season. We have been here at Ethos. We have been to Raleigh at TMG Studios. Of course, our shout out goes out to Ethos today because we're recording at Ethos. So make sure you follow them on all the social media platforms at Ethos Digital GSO, and then on the website at ethosdigitalmediagso.com. So, of course, shout out to our crew here at Ethos. We thank you for letting us use your facilities in season 5. And of course, our shout out for TMG Studios up in Raleigh, where most of season 5 is being recorded and edited. And I wouldn't have made it through this season without either of these places. So now that we got our places out of the way, we're jumping right into liking and subscribing, because go ahead and subscribe. We have been able to grow the channel quite a bit this season, and I hope to continue to do that. So as we wind down season 5, of all the new things, all the fresh things, recentering her, recentering yourself, and a journey that I have taken along the way, I want to make sure that you guys are here to stick it out, and there'll be some other fun things to come out of this channel while we take a break between seasons. We'll take some time, get acclimated into the fall. We have all new content coming for the fall. I'm really excited about that, but we got to take a few weeks break if that's cool with y'all. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell so that way you don't miss any of our videos in between. Moving on along to tending to your business. Not tending to your business. Oh my gosh, I'm always tending to the business. Tending to the TV. We're supposed to be tending to the TV first.
You can be high class or ghetto. It don't matter to me.
What have we been watching? Beyond the Gates. I think last time I chatted about Beyond the Gates, we was waiting for Andre to get his stuff together, and now Ashley is realizing she don't want to be with Andre, and then Danny is like, I'm good on this too. Like, I don't think we should do this either. I mean, Andre did tell Danny that he didn't think that they should, continue or whatever. But now, it's interesting to see that fizzle out. But I think the biggest thing to come out of Beyond the Gates is that damn Leslie. Yeah, Leslie gets on my nerves. She's just so extra, just unnecessarily extra. And it's just like, girl, what is you fucking doing? Like, what are we talking about here? Why do you exist? Like, I guess the show has to have an antagonist, so be it. But she just gets on my damn nerves. And then, of course, when Peaches came to tell her that, the old girl was her mama, I knew it was going to be a mess. And then why of all the people to run straight to, why she going to run straight to Anita? Like, Anita already feel a way about you, and now you're just going to go throw it in her face. Like, I wouldn't fool with Anita Dupree. Like, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. Anita's hands down my favorite character next to Danny. But I don't know. I'm also excited to see this little love situation with the daughter and the doctor. I think that what they got going on is really cute. So I'm really happy to see that pan out. But that's what I've been watching on TV. And of course the Baddies. So I'm in Baddies Caribbean right now. And they get on my nerves a little bit. It feels a little too scripted for me. Like, I feel like a lot of the storylines are made up. And they just, like, be fighting to be fighting. Like, I could see why people complain about Baddies if you watch Baddies Caribbean. Because it's like, what are y'all doing? What are you guys doing? Y'all on my nerves. They on my nerves. The cast, nobody really stands out to me on this cast that I really like. I like Dia, but they got rid of her. So, sorry if you ain't watched it yet. Don't come over here because I'm going to spoil whatever I'm watching, just so you know. But yeah, Baddies Caribbean is what I'm watching right now. And I think I'm just trying to get through it because it's not, I like seeing the houses. Now, the houses they go to are pretty dope. I'm really enjoying that. And I do enjoy, like, seeing what hairstyles they have and what clothes they have on. Most of it's, like, paper doll dresses. But you won't catch me dead in one of those. I don't know, but I'm really fooling with the baddies. I still haven't made it to Now That's TV. It's still a little out of my reach right now. I'm still catching up on baddies, still getting my baddies feet wet. I still have a couple of them to watch. So once I get finished watching all the baddies, I'm headed over to Now That's TV, where the action here is really, really actionate. What are y'all watching on TV? Leave me a comment. Tell me what y'all watching on TV. I need to know. I need to find something else to watch. I think I'm becoming like, I don't want to say obsessed, but like my brain just is constantly on baddies all the time. Baddies, 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 baddies. So, and it's like the one thing I can just sit down and watch and not be distracted, which kind of feels good. I hate that it's baddies, but it's okay. I watch plenty of stuff to balance it out. So that's what I've been watching. That's all I've been tending to the TV about. I can't think of too much else that I've been watching on TV. No new shows. Still diners, drive-ins, and dives. Same shit, different day. I've been really excited to find something on TV now that Jackson is back in school. Today was the first day back at school. Yes, first day back at school, and I'm so excited about that. I was really excited because it's been, I ain't gonna say a tough summer, but it threw me off my routine. And let's just move into Tendin Talks and we could talk about it over there. Tendin Talks.
Can be high class or ghetto, it don't matter to me.
All right, so boom. There was a lot of stuff we did this summer. We really started off the summer really good. The pool, we had our activities, we had a calendar. It was like camp style. Like we had it all. And I really enjoyed putting it all together, being a camp counselor. And then Jackson went to his dad's for like a month and I got really bored. I tried to pick up different hobbies, but nothing really interests me right now. I don't know. And then I think I realized today that I might have been like in a depressive episode for a month and didn't realize it. Because I found myself like I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't get myself to go to the gym. I couldn't get myself to like do anything fun for myself. It was kind of weird. Looking back at it. I mean, I had other things that I enjoyed that, kind of kept my attention. So I won't say that I was just complete like brain rotting, but I didn't do a lot of the things that I know I'm supposed to do. My eating really took a hard blow this last month or so, just not cooking like I'm supposed to because Jackson wasn't there, or keeping up. Like I get up and eat stupid stuff like Pop-Tarts every day. I don't even want to tell y'all how many Pop-Tarts I ate this summer. Like it's insane. I literally ate like a child all summer long. And it shows. I take this medicine to help with my mood, and one of the side effects is you gain weight. And I don't think I noticed it as much before, but now that I done put on about 10 pounds, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This extra eating is getting out of control, and I have not been going to the gym. So the combo of those things, plus, a little big depression, gets in there, and then you get stuck. All right, it got quiet again, thankfully. So one thing that I also noticed is that I hadn't been going to church. And when I did go to church, I was extremely anxious, extremely worked up. So I had to kind of wrap my mind around like what's really going on here. And transparently, I was at a bigger church and I became a member, jumped right into serving, and it got to a point where that's kind of all I was doing. Everything that I did at church revolved around me serving. And I'll preface that by saying I am a natural servant, but I'm also a taught servant. So I've gone through extensive training, workshops. Half of my education is in serving. So when I started to get to a point where it was like all I'm doing is working when I come to church, at what point do I go to church? So at the time I was dating a guy and he went to another church that I was familiar with. So I started going to his church in an effort to try to go to church more and then, create this family that we were doing. So it got to a point where all I was feeling like I was doing was working. Got to another church and then kind of the same thing. Like I said, I was trying to kind of create this family vibe. Like his mom went to the church, his family went to that church. So it was like, okay, if we're gonna be a family, we're gonna do this. Even before like marriage and all that kind of stuff, I was just trying to find a church to settle into again. So I started going, and you go out of necessity. I do enjoy the church, so there's nothing that I can say bad there. I love the teaching. I love the pastor, and it just kind of, you know how you feel, not to say like you're not supposed to be somewhere, but it's not your place. Like I never got that this is mine feeling when I go. And I'm not gonna say I don't like that, but that started to wear on me. That and then once I started serving, it just became all service again, which was what I was running away from at my old church. So over the last month or so, I've just been kind of amongst, I've had quite a few deaths happen very close to me. It seems like I'm at a funeral once a week. The whole summer has been funerals. I've probably been to 4 or 5 funerals this summer, and then know of 2 other deaths who just didn't have a funeral, and we still had to memorialize them. Like, it has been a very spooky summer. So and then 2 of those were members at my church that I was really close with. I'm not very close with many people, and then 2 ladies right back to back passed away like within 3 weeks of each other, and I worked both of their funerals, and I'm just like, it took a lot out of me, even more than I thought it did. So I started to realize that, and then the other day I streamed both services, both churches, because I still watch service from my old church, and then I watch service from my newer church. And like I have been praying about it. I've been talking to my mom about it, like seeking good counsel about it. And again, I just really locked in with the Lord and was like, Lord, where you want me to be? And the first thing that came to mind was like, where did I send you? And I'm like, well, I'm at this church. And it was like, that's not where I sent you. That's where you ran away to. That's not where I sent you. So I had to, okay, oops, Jesus. Like, not to say my bad, because you can't like my bad, God. But I had to really take a step back and say, okay, what was I doing at that church? What was I learning at that church? And it fit everything that I wanted out of a church. And there really was no need of me leaving church. It was just more understanding my place in church. And I have found myself so exhausted. And it's like, why am I so exhausted with church? This is not how it should be. And then again, here, God's like, have you ever considered just sitting down? Like, consider just listening and not having to do nothing? And I'm like, no, I go to church. I'm supposed to serve. I'm supposed to participate. And it's like, yeah, that'll come. But how do you know where you're supposed to serve at if you just don't sit down and listen to me? God, that's probably pretty good advice, because I find myself constantly feeling out of place, or it feels just unnatural sometimes doing anything. Like, I find myself to be good at things and I can get things done. It doesn't matter what it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's my calling or where my ministry is. So I said, you know what? I'm going back to my old church. I'm going to the church that I was called to be at, that I was led to be at, and that I was successful in. I love being a member of that church. I just can't run away. I can't run away from the things that I'm supposed to have. And I think I got to a point where I've lost out on those things because I left. I ran away, under the guise of like, oh gosh, I don't want to work no more. But that's not really fair. Like, I find enjoyment in serving. I find enjoyment in participating at church. I think I might have to really sit down and be open to the places that I'm supposed to be. Like, I have this mindset of where I think I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't know if that's necessarily sure. Like, I don't know if that's my plan or God's plan. Well, at this point, I'm pretty sure it's just my plan and not God's plan. And I am constantly seeking out, well, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And right now, I think I'm going to learn that by being quiet, by just going and attending church, listening to the word that he has, and letting it be natural, not jumping into any ministries, not looking to work right away, and let it flow a little bit. I really, really, really love this church. I love church in general. And I found myself getting really anxious. So it's so many people, like I could come up with every reason in the world why I didn't go to church or I had stopped going to that church. But those were really just excuses, right? Like I have a friend that say excuses are the nails that build a house of failure. And that's kind of where I had found myself. And now at this second church, I'm finding myself making excuses why I don't want to go. And I'm like, it's me. This is a me problem. This isn't a church problem. This is a Sheena problem. So, like I said, I've just been taking it in prayer, listening, quiet. Lord, lead me in the word where you want me to be. Show me what I'm supposed to be reading about. Give me a lesson. Show me a sign, Jesus. Like, we love to ask the Lord for a sign. And yesterday I was streaming and it was, they did altar call. I felt like I missed the message, but I was right on time for altar call. And it was like, if you feel lost, it was normally the, sinner's prayer, like the return, you backslid and come back. But it didn't feel like that. It was like, you need to come back home. You need to come back to where you were growing at. You need to come back to where you should be. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to where I should be. And that's not a slight to anybody. This doesn't have anything to do with anybody but me and the Lord. And I am nervous. I am, feel away because like I said, I started going to the church. I joined the ministry. So now I have to kind of like eat my words and go back and be like, this may not be the church for me. When I join, and I do feel compelled to explain why I'm leaving the church. Even though I hadn't, really developed any strong bonds with anybody at church, other than the two ladies that had passed away. And then there is another lady at church. Well, it's quite a few ladies at church that I really love. It's not about the people. It's about me. It's not about the people that are there. At the end of the day, it's my soul that's at stake, and it's my walk with God that's at stake, and I need to be in the best position to do that. And I think in this season, in this space, I shouldn't have left my old church. I should have stayed put and maybe took my problem itself to God and not left my whole church, because that doesn't make any sense. And it also got me to realizing that leaving is easy for me. Like, super easy. I can leave anything. I left cyberspace. I've left marriages. I left boyfriends. I've left countries. I've left states. Like, leaving is easy. Staying is hard. And I'm not a really like circle the block type of person, but I'm circling the block on my church. I'm going back to my church because I miss it. I miss my church friends. I miss the activities that we did. And I miss how I felt in my walk with God while I was at that church. It was a good place to be. And I think, like I said, I got to a point where I was letting other things, other distractions lead me away from it. Making the excuses of working too much or being too dependable or whatever the case, the reasons were at the time. But so out of this depressive slump, it comes that I'm going back to my church. So make room on the end aisle because I like the ends. And I'm not going to jump right into serving. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to focus on walking with Christ, what it looks like to serve Christ on a day-to-day basis, not just at church. It's easy to say, oh, I do audio at church, or I'm in this ministry, or I'm in that ministry. But, that's not going to get me into heaven. That's not going to share what God's gift is through me to other people, especially if that's not my gift. I don't know if the Lord put me here to be an audio engineer. I can do it, but never before had I sat behind a soundboard. And in no other places in my life do I do it, until I go looking for it. That's not to say I couldn't do it, but I just don't think that the Lord put me here to manage sound. I just don't think that's my calling. So, we'll see. We shall see. Keep up on social media where I go to church at. Tell me about your church journey. How did you pick your church? How did you pick where you wanted to be? a member of, and are you a member of a church? Being a member of a church is very important to me. Very, very important to me. So I have to be a member of a church. That's Sheena's own standard for herself. And where y'all go to church at? What is it that compelled you to go to your church and stay and become a member of your church? So hit those comments up. Let me know. That wraps up Tendin Talks. It started off talking about depression, and I ended up talking about church. I mean, that's what it is. I love church. I really do. And I want to tell people about church, okay? I'm not getting on here to tell you, get saved or go to hell. I'm not here for that, okay? I mean, maybe one day I will, however the Lord use me, right? But today, I want to encourage you to go to church. Find a church that you like for you. That's not necessarily your mama's church or your friend's church or whatever. Go to a couple of churches. Feel them out. Date them. You know what I mean? Go to a service, see how you like it. Some churches offer so many different things. Some have coffee shops. Like, I would love to have a church that had a coffee shop, but whatever. Or like one thing that's big for me is the groups. The church I'm originally a member at, and I'm going back to, they have all these different groups that focus on something, whether you're single or you're trying to buy a house or you're trying to be a teacher or whatever the case may be. They have different groups that support that, and I want to be able to be a part of that. And then they have a really great kids ministry, and my 10-year-old grew up in that church, and that's the church that he's familiar with and he enjoys going to. The other church doesn't have such an expansive children's ministry, and while that's nobody's fault, it is a difference. And like, Jackson don't want to go to church because which one we going to? We're going to our old church. It's kind of what I get, and I have to consider him in that decision too. Like, where does he want to go to church? So, anywho, that'll lead us to Tending to Your Soul. Go to church. Find a church. I have a thing on Instagram where I say, take your ass to church. And I hadn't really been convicted about cursing at all. I have other things that I've been trying to focus on, like not drinking, treating people right. You know what I mean? Some of the things that don't come as easy. And I had put cursing on the back burner. And y'all know I curse all the time. But someone was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that. And on the surface, they're right. I probably shouldn't be cussing about church. But on the next level, this isn't a person I have a great I'm not going to say I have a great or bad or any type of relationship with this person. They don't really, I'm not going to say they don't speak to me. They speak when they see me. But I still don't feel the conviction to stop. And I said all that to say, be mindful of the feedback that you take in. Everybody is going to have an opinion. But you and God have to have a relationship so solid that nobody can come in between that. And on a weekly basis, when I say take your ass to church, I get DMs of people with their family picture who went to church. Or, I went to church because you told me to take my ass to church. I would rather sacrifice what you think my reputation should be for the sake of families being in church. I can't tell you what to do when you get to church. And that's not my job. I just want you to go to church because I know the possibilities of what happens when you walk into a church, when you find your church families. I know the changes that have happened in my life. I wouldn't have been able to stop drinking without a strong relationship with the Lord. Because for 20 years, I drank, ain't nobody gonna know but me. But if I involve God, now he watching too. Now I gotta be like, Lord, how you see me drinking? And I feel it. And I know the reasons why, and I'm solid and I'm clear-headed. So I understand why he said that. But I had to be locked in that relationship because it get hard. And sometimes I have to just pray instead of drinking. Like literally like, Lord, let me get through this next 15 minutes because if I don't, I'm going to go to the store and I find myself praying constantly. Like it's a coping mechanism. Pray like you got to have it. Okay? And again, I'm not here to tell you about having red lights. That's not my business. My job is to tell you to go commune with people in the church. Find a community of people that are having church. Church specifically. There's no replacement for church. I'm not saying it's going to solve all your problems. I'm saying that you probably going to get closer to God if you do it. And that's my only goal. I could care less how you do it. But I'm telling you how I did it. And where I feel convicted and what I feel, strongly about. And that's just it. It's going to church. It's a reset. It's an amazing part of my routine. It gives me a reason to get up, get dressed. I can go see people. I love it. And then people, their church trauma gets in the way, but we have men trauma. We still get new men. We still will try a new man after the last 15 that dogged you out. You'll still go for another man. Some of y'all even go back to the same man. If you could go back to the same man, you can find a new church. Or you can go back to the church. I'm never gonna tell you go to a church that hurt you. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the search for a good church, just like any good thing, takes time. And you gotta date it. Go to one church one Sunday. See how you feel about it. Go to another church the next Sunday. See how you feel about it. And keep doing that until you get to the one that keeps calling you back. That's like, you know what? This feels like home here. And don't run away like I did. But I'm going back, okay? New comments. Tag your church in the comments. I want to see if y'all stream and y'all got a good streaming service. Put that link in the comments. Make sure to come back on Sunday and send me your church. So I want to church with y'all. Okay? All right, y'all. We getting up out of here. We wrapping up for season 5. This is the end of season 5. I think we're at 11 episodes in. This is the 11th episode, so y'all squeak the extra one out. But I definitely want to end this season by putting God first and saying I wouldn't have made it through this season, literally, figuratively speaking, without the love of God and the love of God in me, and recognizing that is something I should show other people instead of keeping it to myself. People love to say, are you blessed? You lucky? It is. I'm not. I pray really hard and I'm really faithful. And I cry a lot. I'm convicted a lot. I go through it. I do things that I don't want to do. I don't do things that I want to do. And all of the things in between. Because I'm on a mission, right? I'm on a mission to get me to heaven and y'all to heaven. I'm not your pastor, but I'll be the bus driver to get you there. So I will see y'all in a few weeks. In the meantime, follow me on social media. On X is Tendin2. On Instagram is Tendin2. On TikTok is Tendin2. I would say the best place to find me, though, is X and Instagram. TikTok is like my redheaded stepchild. We got some exciting things for season 6, so be sure to stay aware of that. And then before season 6 happens, I think Queens of the Yard will be back. So make sure to plug into Queens of the Yard, my other podcast, on HBCU Game Day here on YouTube. And we'll be back for the season. I think we're recording some point this month. So we're jumping back into football season. I'm so excited. What else I got going on? Oh, HSN. So Absol V TV here on YouTube is the home of my fantasy football league, and where the HCSN fantasy football league, we put together a weekly show every week to, for our competitors, for folks to watch. So I'll be sure to put the link in the description so y'all can come watch us. Our football season starts next week. First coaches report is due next week. So we're excited. I'm really excited to do fantasy football this year and have this real cool content component to it. So I'll be seeing you. I won't be too far, but yes, y'all stay strapped in for season 6. It was fun. Bye, season 5.
What does it take to get over you? I'm gonna need me a raise to get over you. Why don't I clean up my life? I'ma need me a raise. So dirty. Rollie or two, Yeah, rollie or two.
So yeah, I think that coming through this last month or so. It got real loud just now, and now I can't record. I don't want it in the background. So I gotta wait till it die down. I hope this looks good. I don't want to move my camera.